right back, Charlie. Definitely.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Come on. Thank you very much for that, Ian. Right, new week, new blessings. I know it's now the 3rd of March, but if you've just come back to the channel and you're a long-term subscriber, we're all new. Happy new month. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night, dependent on where you lot are placed. And as usual, people deluded, I'm back again now. Obviously, this is an important week for Arsenal. I mean, I don't know where you lot are with the Premier League. You know, Liverpool have won that, but some of you are probably still optimistic. I'm just focused on not getting embarrassed against PSV and shutting Manchester United fans up. It was lovely. You know, Joshua actually thought he could wave my fans bye-bye and that his team were going to go and win the FA Cup. What goes around comes around. Stay humble. I'm seeing man crying after missing a penalty in that. Leno, Smith Rowe, Iwobi, well in, lad. You know, shout out Chido Obi Martin. But yeah, on a serious note, we've got 2 games this week. We're trying to save face for saving face's sake. I'm sure you would have seen Fabrizio Romano would have spoken about Andrea Berta, who is apparently going to become our next sporting director, allegedly. And but just before that, actually, you heard rumors that Olabe's not on the job. So we're going to cover all of that. Please make sure you're smashing the like button and you're subscribing. At 3 p.m., I'm going to have a couple of other Arsenal fans and we'll go over similar talking points and more. It's a chance for me to shut up and hear other perspectives. And at 8 p.m., I'll be live with Sammy. Tomorrow, we will be doing a watch along for Arsenal against PSV, people. So yeah, make sure you're there. Content. I don't know if I said it, but I hope you all had a great weekend, and I hope Monday is great for you lot and you're starting it in the best possible vein, man. A man said on time too. Wow, I'm always on time, man. Let's say that. Big up yourself, S, man. I think Berta has the right experience we need. I mean, when you've been at Atletico for what, 11 or so years, maybe even more. You've helped with several transitional periods. We need an experienced hand. I think we need an experienced head that, because you know when we're linked with Rosicky and all of these guys, beyond the obvious, I hear it. You know, when you've had Jack Wilshere as the manager, as the youth manager, Mikel Arteta as the first team manager, Mertesacker. I understand that having former players, you know, Bayern Munich do that kind of thing, Barca as well. But I think, as much as I think it's romantic, I think it's too romantic. I think where we are as a club, somebody needs to come in that's not necessarily obviously attached to Arsenal, because they would have taken the job, but they haven't got that affinity. Like they can look at things with no emotion and just see what's right and what's well. Equally, clearly, Mikel Arteta is getting more and more power at this football club. Edu employed him. He's having a say in who's going to be the next manager, next sporting director. And we all know his growing influence on all aspects. But I do think it's one thing getting this sporting director in. He can have all the ideas. If he's not on a level playing field and able to win a couple of battles with Mikel Arteta or overrule him on occasion, like with Kai Havertz for 65 million, then it's all irrelevant. So I'm happy with it. You know, again, it's probably a video. I mean, it's probably something I could do a video in more depth, but he seems experienced, seems to be in high demand. Apparently, we're beating AC Milan to his signature. You look at the signings he's made for Atletico, I hear it. On the other hand, though, Atletico Madrid play scumbag football. We're questioning Mikel Arteta's, you know, creativity in terms of the final third. But I don't know how to look at it, man. But I do think he's experienced. We've tried the other thing in it. We've tried the well, we have had missing in time. We have had Raul Sanllehi, but we've tried the Edu and Arteta growing together pause on in that role. I just think we need someone more experienced, especially because we've missed, or better yet, fumbled the last 2 transfer windows. The summer is one thing, and we all know you kind of mean that you kind of set off how you mean to go on, and that's probably in tune why our season, you know, probably one of the reasons why our season hasn't banged. Last chance saloon in January, whether it's getting young players, loan players, overpaying players that look like damaged goods, etc., we did nothing. And we've wasted the last 3 years. Let's be real. There's been some good moments and all of that kind of crap, but in the last 3 years, I've not won a Prem, haven't done anything of significance. We don't want to fumble for a 4th year. And I do think there needs to be some serious unpopular decisions. We need to get to the next level, and it needs to happen sooner rather than later. Big up DG. I'm still mad I lost to Fulham. I hear it. Big up yourself, but shout Fulham. At least I know he's going to get forwards. He's only going to get forward. Smash the like button if he's allowed to, actually, man. Like, morning, how are you? I'm good, man. I hope you're doing well and safe. I hope everyone's blessed. This is good news. I hear that, but it's not good news until I see him holding the shirt. A proper DOF, if it actually comes through, none of that edu nonsense. Exactly. I need an experienced guy with the phone book, with the ability to make things happen, with the ability to, when the time's right, to overrule the manager. You look at Jurgen Klopp. I'm sure Jurgen Klopp brought in some great signings, but it's well known. Michael Edwards wanted Mo Salah. Jurgen Klopp wanted Julian Brandt. Now, there's a reality where Julian Brandt is as good as what Salah's been in a Liverpool shirt, etc. If we cut that nonsense, it's fair to say the sporting director won. At our very own club, David Ornstein would always save definitely not Mikel Arteta, Arsene Wenger when he's moving a bit too mad, going a bit too left field. And I must admit, I do think we're at that stage. It's now time to go back to basics. Get a striker, get a winger, increase the depth, just the basics now. You've done all the complicated things. Atletico had 4 strikers, so we're good. Listen, what's going on at Atletico might not necessarily correlate here, but you look at his work, it does seem quite decent, man. If you watch the documentary of Klopp, Edwards told Klopp Salah was the better choice. The rest is history. Exactly. That's what we need. Sometimes Arteta might be moving a bit too mad. Someone change it up. Sometimes the sporting director might be moving too mad. But yeah, we need an experienced man. It's as simple as that. He's Spanish like Mikel Arteta. Obviously, he's helped make a team somewhat be competitive, where you've got the Barcelonas and the Real Madrids. He's been in the game for a while. I'm sure his contact book is there. Yeah, man, let's have it. But I do think with what we're seeing with the athletic players, or the athletic build of what Arteta wants, and some of the signings Atletico made, don't be surprised if Arteta and Berta are somewhat aligned, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Berta comes in and Arsenal pivot from bait targets that we will know of. I'm not against that, if I'm honest with you. Thing is, if with scumbag ball, if you've got a good forward, you don't mind it. Atletico got 2 class forwards and hella workers, basically, and they're always pushing Madrid and Barca. Guess it can work. It's true. He's going to say, forget Sesko. But as long as I can go into next season, I'll only say Arsenal are serious next season if I see a striker, if I see a winger, if I see a centre mid. At the very minimum, there's a lot of other stuff. There's a lot of things that we need to address, man. Sesko's very hot and cold at present, man, but I do think he'll be a good player. I'm not against it, man, but if we could get one of these South American brothers, why not? The Happiness officially sponsored by Leno. Shout out to Leno, man. Shout out to Leno. He did his thing, man. He did his thing. So, yeah, man, keep your questions coming. Keep your talking points coming. Let's not waste any time, man. Let's get straight into business. Now, as you said, big up Leno. Remember when United were tweeting justice and all of that? See? Big up my former Arsenal goalkeeper. You would have seen yesterday night, people, Olabe will not join Arsenal as sporting director and is likely to take a break as opposed to immediately starting a new project, which is fair enough. You know, I'm sure his family wants to spend time with him and all of that. As far as I understand, Roberto Olabe will not go to Arsenal and is likely to stop for a while and not immediately start a new project. Soon, however, we will have news about the man who made Atletico Madrid great through excellent work in the market, Andrea Berta. He has many suitors. Stay tuned. Been linked with AC Milan in his country as well. Chido has been bantering us online, so we can hold that. I'm just happy it won't be Ito. If Ito was DOF, I might have to tap out for ball for a bit. It's true, but I'd imagine Ito's not going anywhere. Like, obviously, he could have his own career and own ambitions, but he'd probably go back to being number 2. You know, I don't know how old Berta is, but I imagine he's in his late 40s, maybe 50s. He's not going to be here forever. And I must admit, even though I'm with you lot with the Ito thing, yeah, don't you think you lot were being a bit harsh to Ato? Now, where I think we're not, because everybody can hold smoke, but he's an inexperienced man being asked to make something happen in January. I think, and I'm talking for myself as well. It's not his fault that we're even talking about Ato being involved. The very fact that they're saying Ato is impressing behind the scenes, who knows? He might be putting the plans into place for what we're doing in the summer, but I can't see it. But are we being a bit harsh because he's an inexperienced man, like being asked to do a madness? Man said, no, Bunny. I hear it. Chelsea fans going to go mad if we get this SDDG. I need to, you know what it is for me? Miss Lintat taught me, and Sanye, yeah, we can see the work they've done and all of that, and it's something to be happy about. But it taught me Be excited, but we need to judge them once they've walked into the club, because it's a different ball game. These guys, well, Berta on the right, he could have all the best ideas for Arsenal. He could say, he could find the next Mo Salah, the next this one, that one. We need this, we need that. Arteta, you don't need this, we need to do that. But you see, if he doesn't have any true power, which Edu didn't have, it's a myth. Let's be honest. The club are betting on Mikel Arteta, rightly or wrongly, man. What are we doing hiring an inexperienced man in Ito? To be fair, Ito's been at the club for a while. He's worked his way up within the industry now. I don't think Ito should be our sporting director at all, because we've missed the last 2 transfer windows. It's not going to happen. You can be part of the club, but forget all of that. Romano, wait, have I gone ahead? Okay, no, I haven't. Making sure we're staying on brand. Smash the like button, people. Don't be lazy, man. Fam, we're from South, no mercy. Oh my God, South London, we're the toughest in the world. Hey, South London people, allow me in it. They said Ito was instrumental in a couple of deals behind the scenes, but yeah, Bunning, we need experience. Imagine him and Arteta, that's inexperienced versus inexperienced making big decisions. See what I'm saying? We ain't got time for that now. We ain't got time for that. And again, maybe Andrea Berta is cool to work under whatever context is, but he's been in the game a lot. He's been in his role longer than Mikel Arteta has been a manager, let alone, I'm sure, all the other steps. Surely you're not going to sign for Arsenal with your experience, with where you're at in life now, if you're not going to have a real say in what we're doing. I don't know. Arteta's influence is growing and growing and growing. The club are betting on him, so things are going to happen. DG, in relation to your striker issue, regardless of who you may get, he will need an adjustment period. If that ends up being the majority of next season and ultimately cost you the league again and have a similar season to this one, would you give Arteta grace for another year or not? Brother, big up yourself, Riley. Arteta's already on borrowed time. That doesn't mean me screaming and shouting Arteta in or out. You're already on borrowed time. End of the day, I could argue you've been on borrowed time since you took the Arsenal job, because you shouldn't have. Let's be real, you shouldn't have got it in the first place. If life was fair, you probably wouldn't. You had no real experience beyond working with Pep Guardiola. There's been times where you could have been sacked. You've done a lot of good. You've got us to this point. Good coach, but all the other things that gets us to the next level, you're not there. You're already on borrowed time. If I look at you've been in 6 years, 3 of those 6 years you've been challenging for a title. I don't think it's too unrealistic to ask how we get better. I don't think it's too unrealistic for me to say with Arteta, some of the things we're speaking about, it's going on too long. And I love the football club. I don't love Arteta. So things have to happen. There's no grace period. There's none. Like, your grace period was this year, if anything. And it's not even that. Your grace period was last year. We did not, as a club, we did not come into the season ready to move serious, regardless of intention. So yeah, there's none of that. Fabrizio Romano has said, understand Andrea Berta is now the top candidate to become the new sporting director in order to replace Edu. Discussions already took place. Berta left Atletico after building the team with key signings in recent years. Talks at an advanced stage, not done / sealed yet. Edu left in November. It is now March. We need to get this sorted. We've got a couple of months until the summer kicks off, and we need to have a great summer. There's no ifs, buts, and maybes. The best transfer window we've probably had in recent years is probably the window Declan Rice, ironically, Kai Havertz, Timber, all them man came in. And even the year before, up until a point, yes, Gabriel Jesus is not what he was, but that first 6 months and that first season from Zinchenko, we got the majority of them guys in early. Last season, I have no doubt he tried, and there's obviously the Euros, but he fumbled. January, he did nothing. I'm on this, man. Get it done, man. So talks are at an advanced stage, but until it's signed and sealed, we don't know. Apparently, he rejected AC Milan people. Various outlets are now speaking of this. Arsenal have identified Andrea Berta as a candidate to become the club's new sporting director. Now, if you don't want me to do a little video separately on Berta, well, I'll do a bit of research and we'll really go to work with his life and whatever he's done to this point. Let me know. Don't forget to smash the like button and keep your comments coming. The Gunners have been on the hunt for a permanent replacement for Edu, who resigned in November to take up a role with Nottingham Forest owners. Forgive me for mispronunciation, but I'll always give it a go. Evangelos Marinakis group of clubs. Jason Ito, who had worked alongside Edu, has taken on the role on an interim basis since then. Put that on LinkedIn, bro. Put that on your CV. You're doing mad things, Jason Ito. But yeah, man. Then since then, but executive vice chair Tim Lewis and managing director Richard Garlick have been leading the search for a new sporting director. And we do focus a lot on Edu and Arteta and the Cronkies and Jason Ito. But it's these kind of brothers as well that are crippling the movements we're trying to make, you know, as well. Nobody's fully faultless in this. And Berta has been out of work since he left Atletico in January. Oh, you only left well, you only left couple months ago. Are you ready? I'm sure you are. The Italian arrived at Atletico in 2013 to work with the scouting department, but progressed to become technical director. Then in 2017, he was appointed sporting director. So yeah, he was at Atletico since 2013, left in January. Fair enough. He reckons he can get straight back to business. It's understood that no offers have been made yet by Arsenal in their current search, but reports in Italy suggest that Berta is emerging as the Gunners' top target after rejecting other approaches. And we have simultaneously heard Berta has actually been in London at a point to learn the English language. Berta has been linked with AC Milan, but according to Gazzetta dello Sport, he has turned down the Serie A club. Milan had Berta on a three-man shortlist along with Fabio Paratisi and Igiltar, but I've given up on Berta after being led to believe he was set to join Arsenal. Atletico are known for sleepers. Wasn't Olabe a lead candidate as well? We need Cahigio back as the sporting director. I think he'd be all right as a scout. Berta is a legit sporting director. I don't think he brings in Simeone. Simeone is not arriving at Arsenal. Do you know what it is, DG? It's about his connects and networks. He might be able to find gems which we need under this type of ownership. Facts. And that's exactly what we need. I do think, though, for all of Edu's faults, I do think there's been a disconnect in what we want, because you look at some of the players that he wanted and we didn't get. Caicedo, Douglas Luiz, Cunha, a couple of the Brazilian ones. There's been too many chefs. And as I said, it's one thing, this guy having experience, having all the ideas. The Cronkies have to give him power to flex his muscles and say no to Mikel Arteta. Arteta, I'm not going to lie. We need to get away from that brain box stuff. Get a striker who can score goals. Obviously, all the general playing, all that crap goals, because we're overcomplicating things. On the field, in terms of the knock-on effect of how you, in your controllables, have used your budget, have, assembled the squad, the players you've signed, you cannot act like Mikel Arteta is a damsel in distress, man. But you are right about the network and the context, especially within the two windows that we've had. We have fumbled the last two transfer windows, whatever way. And some of you fall for it about we tried and all of this. No excuses to be running around for Neto and Sterling on deadline day. No excuses for no one to be brought in Jan. I don't give a monkeys about keeping powder dry and there's no quality on the market. All of these things that, yeah, we're balanced fans. That makes sense in general. But when you say things enough times, you start to rationalize it. Look at what's going on. You've got a young Ethan Nwaneri gonna have to run him into the ground, and he's a lot more consistent than his teammates. Look, Kai Havertz is our best striker. That tells you everything. Respectfully to Kai, what's going on? Look at the depth. Marino is up front at this moment in time. Fullbacks are creating. There's a lot that Arteta has to be held accountable for, and everyone. And for you lot, the gloves have got to be off. I said all of what I'm saying now is how I was coming into this summer. Let's be real. Everybody at the club's on borrowed time now. I say that people got 15 million a year contracts. So yeah, in terms of how we feel, not necessarily what's going on in the world, man. Biggest thing Berta has is his success of winning, helping with squad building to win league titles for Athletic is a serious feat, and the difference between him and Edu. Hopefully we're the ones that reap the benefits of that, man. You look at some of his notable signings made by Andrea Berta people, who's the front runner for the director role. He signed Rodri from Villarreal for 20 million euros. Thomas Lemar, to be fair, Thomas Lemar ain't really done nothing, and we tried to sign him, but cool, can't always work. Kieran Trippier did okay at Atletico, nothing to scream and shout about, but won a league title. João Felix ain't really done nothing. Luis Suarez won the title there. Cunha, they bought him. You know what? We're going to get linked with Cunha again. Cunha's a full circle thing, because ironically, Joe Linton, Cunha, and Reece Nelson were all in Germany playing together. Conor Gallagher, who does fit the ethos of what you'd expect from Atletico. Julian Alvarez has been a good signing. And I'm sure there's a bunch of others, man. We could do a lot worse, man. We could do a lot worse. A brief overview on Andrea Berta. I guess you lot don't want me to make a tactical review going through this guy's life and really researching what we might get with this guy, in it, because none of you have said, yeah, do that, DG. It's cool, though. Saves me. Do smash the like button. He joined Atletico in 2013 as a technical director, becoming sporting director in 2017. During his tenure, Atletico won several major titles. Now, you got to remember, it's not just him. There's a sub-team and there's a collective goal from the club as well. So we can't all just make out it's him, but he has been there for a while. So there's stamina and motivation. He knows how to kind of define the odds, a bit like us. I mean, it's not really the same, but if we assume Liverpool and City are the Real Madrid and Barca of this country, can we nick some trophies there? I don't know. They won 7 major honors, several major titles, I better yet. They won the Copa del Rey in 2013, 2 La Liga titles in 2013-14. So actually the year he joined, and 2020-21, 1 Super Cup de España in 2014, 1 Europa League in 2017-18, 1 UEFA Super Cup in 2018, and they must have got to 1-2 finals in other things. 52 signings since he became sporting director, estimated expenditure of 828 million euros. Re-signed Rodri, who Athletic sold to Villarreal. Notable other signings: David Villa as technical director. That's good. Suarez, Old Black, Griezmann, who we all wanted ironically at Sociedad. Jota, Diego Costa, Trippier, Marcos Llorente, Lilomad, Carrasco, Toby Alderweireld, Savic, Hermoso, Rodrigo de Paul, Conor Gallagher, Correa, Mandzukic, Raul Jimenez, Alvaro Morata, Cunha, and Alvarez. So these are not the worst. These are not the worst signings. It's shown he can find some gems for us, people. And again, experience. He's been a sporting director at for a lot of his life. Really, he's AC, Carpendilolo, Parma, Genoa, and Atletico. So he's done his thing really and truly. And then, people, I don't know why, but I started to look at this. When you look at the staff at Arsenal, everybody's, you've got like literally 1-2 experience. This is why I'm on Berta even more, because you've got 1-2 50-plus-year-old men, and then the rest are kind of the experienced staff are not necessarily in positions of power. And then you've got a lot of young guys, which Arteta's clearly regulating and growing in influence. Obviously, Arteta's 42. You've got Albert, obviously, at 52. You've got 30-year-olds, 29-year-olds. Inaki Kanya, who seems to have autonomy over the goalkeeping recruitment. And actually, when you read The Athletic, it seems like Edu and him were at loggerheads as to whether we should go for Garcia for 20-odd million euros, who was still linked with the AC Milan man, or, someone else. And we had to run around, pardon me, for Neto on deadline day. We know the club want to do the young thing, but yeah, you got a bunch of young people involved, really. And then you got Mr. Ato and Garlic currently in that structure. I mean, I can't expect him to change everything. One man can't change the culture, but I would say for me, top priorities, let's revamp our scouting department. For me, we need to revamp our scouting department. Either our scouts are not good enough, which I don't believe. I actually believe they're not listened to. I said it yesterday. I could scout the next Vinicius Jr., but if I'm putting him to the director's door and they're not reading my scouting reports, it doesn't matter. So I think we need to revamp our scouting department. We've got 2 choices, in it. We've bought Declan Rice, but it's like half the time we see the current theme with the Caicedos, the Douglas Luizes, the Premier League players. We bulk at the fees. So can we find these players before? Can we take a leaf out of the Brightons and Brentfords and actually Atletico Madrids and find these players that can be stars tomorrow and help us? So I'd say revamp the scouting department. I actually think Arteta, this guy, everybody, they have to press the cronkies to become have that multi-club model. But that's more of a dream. But I would say revamp the scouting department, deal with the new contracts, evidently bring in players that are ready right now to help us in pursuit of the Premier League, while simultaneously future-proofing, finding those stars of tomorrow. And it goes without saying, if I haven't said it already, the contract. Berta won't be brought in to sack Arteta. If the Cronkies wanted him gone, he'd been sacked. They love him. He's not going to be able to interfere with that. If Arteta is ever sacked by the Cronkies, it will come from above board, man. So, yeah, man, Berta's doing his thing over there. We've been linked with, I can never pronounce this guy's name, Ian Sabirare. He's played for Argentina at youth level. I believe he's contracted until 2026. He has a 30 million euros release clause, which could be a lot less. Can actually play, the 18-year-old can play across the front 4. So this is the sort of guys for tomorrow I'm speaking about. You can never not, for me, you can never stop. You can never not think about the future. Man City bought Marmoush. They still bought a bunch of kids. So, yeah, man. Berta working with Simeone, who has an ego emotional. I mean, do you reckon Arteta is any different? Arsenal and Chelsea, among a host of other clubs, are monitoring the development of River Plate winger Ian Sabare, who has a 30 million release clause. The club have held talks with the players' reps, but no offer has been made so far. Again, he's contracted until 2026. He's technically only made 5 appearances, so he's a development signing. I'm all for those development signings, but at the same time, we need players that are helping us right now. And again, we all know we want the stars of tomorrow. I know the dynamics have changed, but when it comes to France, Arsenal used to run that. Apart from Saliba, we ain't really took advantage of that French market. South America's littered with talent. Well, somehow we came back with Marquinhos. I don't know. Speaking of Atletico, people, and maybe this is where the rumors have come from, but apparently Arsenal are reportedly interested in signing Atletico midfielder Pablo Barrios if they're unable to finalize an agreement for Zubimendi. Zubimendi is expected to join Mikel Arteta's side during the 2025 summer transfer window, and Football Transfers understands that a 4-year deal has been agreed with the Spain international. The 26-year-old is set to see his salary doubled if his proposed move to Arsenal goes through, although we have been informed that Zubimendi is seeking assurances on non-football related matters before committing. Not sure what the hell that means, but it is what it is. As a result, Arsenal are monitoring several alternatives in the event they are unable to sign Zubimendi this summer. Atletico Madrid star Pablo Barrios is one such option. I'm sure I've seen you play right back, even though you're a centre mid. Arsenal are prepared to battle for his signature. Chelsea have been linked. Well, apparently he's been a key player for Simeone's side, has 27 appearances across all comps since 2024-25. Is he not a homegrown academy player as well, people? So it is what it is. Arsenal's pursuit of Athletic Club winger Nico Williams has taken a surprise turn amid reports that Barca may have ended their interest in the Spain international. I still reckon he ends up over there, people. What is specifically being said? The 22-year-old has been tipped to leave. Barcelona were expected to rival Arsenal for the potential signing of Williams, but they have turned their attention to completed a surprise deal for Martinelli. Barcelona for Martinelli. I mean, Martinelli, I don't want you to leave. Couldn't begrudge you going Barcelona. We've heard rumors that he's allowed to go for the right price, and him and Trossard, give or take, are allowed to go. Do we really believe that? He does have 2 years running on his deal. This could be a chance to get rid of him and upgrade and uplift the squad. We will definitely make a profit. What we bought him for 6 million. If Barcelona generally are prepared to bid 45 million for him, it would make sense. Form is one thing. When you see the high pressing from a Hansi Flick side, Martinelli would be good there. I don't think we can afford to let him go. I think we let Trossard go before that, people. But Man United are hoping to hijack Arsenal's move for Real Sociedad midfielder Martin Zubimendi this summer, according to reports. I don't know whether I believe that, people. Apparently, the Spaniard will be available to leave for a fee of 60 million. So we have to see. With Zubimendi, you have to take everything with a pinch of salt. I don't think many people even believe a word that's coming out in relation to him, man. So we have to see. People, you lot are violating. How have we only got 24 likes? If you've hit the like button, pick up yourself. If you're commenting, shout at yourself. If you're not hitting the like button, what are you doing? What are you doing? DG, you know what it is. It's about connects and networks. He might be able to find gems, which we might need under this type of ownership. You know what? As mad as it is, I'm looking forward to this PSV game. Don't do it, see, man. Don't do it. I just want us to play with freedom. Whatever happens, happens. But at least show the fans you want this regardless of injuries. I hear you, man. But that was my thinking time ago. Me, you lot do what you want, innit? I'm past the point of angry, sad. I support Arsenal. If we win, great. If we lose, it's on brand, innit? Like, you lot have lost, unfortunately, in terms of emotions, you lot have lost me, apart from a few players. So whatever happens, happens, man. The behind-the-scenes planning is so bad, really, for a professional football club. Our best 11 can still be anyone in Europe, though. We just need effective additions. I don't know about... I hear what you're saying. I don't know about our best 11 can be anyone in Europe, but I hear you, bro. At this moment, we're like Atletico in the Prem. They need to allow him a say. Arteta doesn't have the experience and know-how of players, and I don't expect him to. He's a coach, unlike Wenger, who can research. We'll have to see, man. PSV will be peak, lads. Remember, we have no start in front line. It's vibes, man. We just hope for the best, prepare for the worst, man. The only reason I don't want Mark to leave is we already need 2 attackers in addition to Mark in the current squad. Can't see Arsenal signing 3 if he left. I'm with that. Wait, you will let Trossard go, who's better at the moment than Martinelli, who's out of form for a whole season. I've said this before. For me, I'd rather keep both of them. I'd rather keep both of them. Where it comes to it is Trossard's clearly rejected his first his first contract offer. He's a bit older. If he gets an offer from Saudi or the club and he wants to go, can't begrudge him. If he gets an offer that he can't refuse, fair enough. If the club say, you know what, we've never had a better opportunity to get rid of him. For me, I don't want either to go. I just, for me, I understand they could leave, but kind of going back to that point, we already need players. Even if everyone's fit, we're already 2 players short in attack. I don't think it makes sense. And I actually just feel the Kai Havertz's, the Martinellis, the Trossards, upgrade, demote these men to the bench, at least until they show something different. I don't actually want Trossard sold. I understand, you know, last season we were kind of indirectly on this, rightly or wrongly, I definitely don't agree with it, on this sell to buy kind of thing. You're kind of being briefed indirectly that we might do that this summer. But if we're looking to win a league, Trossard did his thing off the bench in terms of impacting. Trossard's a good rotationary option. You look at the numbers Trossard's got this year, Martinelli, clearly we can't persist with that. They're not bagsmen like that. Kai Havertz is one of our more consistent attackers, which tells you everything if we're trying to win a title. I'm not trying to sell either. Both can go. They're not unsellable. Sell both. We need to move on, but it's not realistic, bro. We're not going to sell Trossard. We're not going to sell Trossard. Well, forget any of that. We need a striker. We'd all love Isaac, but whether you think we can get Isaac, Sesko, put whatever name on that, right? We all need a left winger. Whether you want Nico Williams, whatever have you, you all agree with that, right? You all agree with that, right? And if everybody's fit, we're not going to eat. That's on the best of days. You really think we're going to sell? Bearing in mind, Berta's going to have to come in and he still ain't been confirmed, but we're not good hustlers like that. You really think we're going to sell Trossard and Martinelli? Jesus is gone for, well, you might as well say selling Gabriel Jesus is a next summer thing. The same potentially with Tomiyasu. Sell Zinchenko potentially. Sell Kivior potentially. Kieran Tierney is leaving on a free. Nelson something. You really think we're going to do that and bring in more? We already need to bring bodies in. I genuinely think the club will give Martinelli a new contract. I wouldn't rule it out with Trossard. For me, everyone's got a price, but I just feel bring me a left winger and a striker to go with the existing options. Ethan's come on the scene as well. Obviously, we know how good Saka is. We can maneuver, man. Arsenal are close to being complete. I wouldn't say complete. I did kind of think we was moving there, but I don't believe that now. Ain't this the guy that sold Griezmann? I don't bought Griezmann. Berta about to sack Aito and Arteta. I don't think he's going to be one of those sporting director roles, man. He's not going to... I think it's going to be a sporting director thing, but it's more technical director, if that makes sense. Which you could say, yeah, but we all know it comes from above. Arsenal would consider selling Martinelli if they receive an offer in excess of his market value this summer. What is his market value? Because I don't believe it could be much more. Then it can't be worth anything. I think you'd be lucky to get... I love Martinelli. I think you'd be lucky to get 30, 40 million on him. And if he goes somewhere, he captures everything, what's being said there. You got to remember, he's still young. I don't think it makes sense, but all options are on the table. Everybody's sellable. And obviously with Saliba's contract, that's one thing. But for me, the only quote unquote unsellables, if there was any, going into next season would be David Raya, Saliba, Gabriel, Timber. Obviously by default, Declan Rice, Benjamin White, Bukayo, if I haven't said that. The two Haylenders in Lewis Skelly and Wanyeri. Maybe a couple of others. Come on, bro. He's got a decent body of work. Who are you referring to? Martinelli or you got to have a bit of context, man. Martinelli or the director? The only reason we'll get decent money on Martinelli is he's a Brazilian international. He's one of the first names on Arsenal's team sheet and whatnot. But in terms of body of work, what has he got that's decent? And obviously, longevity-wise, he hasn't. It's not been that Martinelli of the 2022-23 season. You should be getting 40 to 60 million based on the market, how the market is, but we're not good hustlers, so I don't know what we're getting. Nelly, what decent body of work? Or what have you seen from him? I wouldn't let him go anyways. I don't believe half of this, but nonetheless, people, Arsenal reportedly joined Man United in the race to sign Napoli striker Victor Osimhen, who has been sensational on loan with Galatasaray this season. Do we really believe this? He's open to joining Man United. He's consistently linked with Arsenal. I can't see these rumours going away. Apparently, Benjamin Sesko remains the Gunners' top target as things stand. PSG are still allegedly interested. I would love Osimhen. I wouldn't be against him, but there's got to be, respectfully to Galatasaray, Arsenal were onto you, United were onto you, Spurs were onto you, Chelsea were onto you, PSG were onto you. How did you end up? And Napoli knew they were selling you because they tried to be cute and clever with that contract. How did you end up in Turkey? With the greatest of respect. Is there something that isn't known to us normal, mere mortal footballing fans about him? I don't know, man. A real hustler gets 40, 50. But then if we're selling Nelly, they need to be signing a game changer, man. Because I don't trust the club will do the right thing. Just accept 50 M's for Martinelli. That should be the minimum price. I'm here for that. I'm here for that. A 30-year-old on the wing with 2 years left. No new deal either. Let him run down his deal or sell him Trossard. 50 should be base level sell real. I mean, 50 mil, fair enough. Get that done. I think we'd be calling someone. Get that done. I just have to know that the club's got to reinvest. And also, it's a big summer, and I can't expect, like, Andrea Berta, obviously, on one hand, he's experienced, he's all of that stuff, but he's got to learn the practices. He's got to get his feet under the door at the club, and then there's just so much for him to do. So we're going to have to see. I don't want to get my hopes up. Raid Brighton, Bournemouth, Newcastle clubs. It's not easy, man. Newcastle, it's I hear you, but you can't bully them. They're backed by an oil state now. They're not letting Isak go unless it makes serious sense. Isak, Gomares, Tonali, half of them players there. Lewis Hall, because we love a left back. They're coming with peas. Bournemouth, obviously, respectfully to Bournemouth, I do think if we come calling for the Kluiverts and Semenyo's for this example, we could grab them. But what they think these players are worth and what Arsenal think these players are worth is very different. And I also believe, a bit like last season and in the summer and in January, I'll be honest, I think we have to temper our expectations. And what I mean by that is, we looked at it last year. We came 2 points off City, right? This year, we've regressed. You want us to hit back. There's clearly a remit on selling. We want to sell. PSR is not an issue for us. We clearly want to sell. We saw that in the summer off the backdrop of we finished 2 points off City. Let's find some level raises. You saw there was a remit to sell. I personally think you're going to have that again, and that's been thrown in the works a bit as well, because you're not going to be able to sell Gabriel Jesus or Tomiyasu now. We don't actually know if the Kiviors and Zinis are going. We do know Partey, Jorginho, Tini, their deals are running down. And I do think they will do the selling thing as well. There'll be a mandate to sell. I don't know the budget we're working with regardless of sales. When you look at half of the players that there's a quote-unquote credible interest in, Zubimendi, we hear it with Sesko, can't back that up, but Zubimendi, Sesko, Nico Williams, the Garcia lad in goal, they've all got a release clause, and it seems like Arsenal are willing to pay just over that release clause. So I don't know for that. I really don't know for that. Brighton, you need big money, and Brighton have got rich now, like richer and richer and richer. We've seen the fees. We had to spend 50 million off the back of one Premier League season for Ben White. You've seen what they did with Caicedo and the rest of them. Bournemouth, you can't bully them clubs there again, man. Prem hype, you can't bully these small teams anymore. They'll charge mad fees. Better recruitment gets you good players regardless of where they're from. We need to start selling too many frees, just know when to let go. Nelly should be worth just as much as Garnacho. That's a good point. But then again, is it even what a player is worth again? Or is it simply what you can hustle? Because some of these fees is crazy. Absolutely crazy, people. Kai Havertz has been pictured in a knee brace as well. Obviously, he won't be involved. £65 for a haircut. 250 quid for a cooler. I mean, when you're on the money, Kaiser, that's light work, innit? But bloody hell. Get well soon, Kai Havertz, man. David Ornstein was kind of speaking about general clubs on The Athletic. People spoke about Barcelona potentially re-getting Neymar. That's all irrelevant to us. Big up Neymar, though. So is the Liverpool contract stuff. There was stuff in relation to Arsenal. I wish I didn't scroll up because now I have to find it again, people. I think it's here. How much say does Mikel Arteta have in decision-making at Arsenal? Did he reject Ollie Watkins or Tell? Was he part of the decision-making not to sign a striker in the summer of 2024? Everybody's in it because there should have been a forward. You're telling me Sesko or nothing, or you couldn't have got a winger. We was ramping. We played stupid games. We've won stupid prizes. He's a hugely influential voice, of course, but not the only one. Arteta wanted Watkins. However, he doesn't control the purse strings, and rightly so. He's the coach/manager. Tell was discussed internally, and Arsenal made checks with his camp on the situation, but I don't know if that went any further. They wanted a 9, and he is in a 9. Again, Arteta was part of the summer 2024 decision-making process, but it's very easy reflecting critically with hindsight. Ornstein, you're being dishonest. We criticized it at the time. There's not a hindsight thing for the summer. Everybody's in it. Maybe Arteta was a damsel in distress and woe is me, wasn't given enough. Maybe the budget they gave him couldn't go everywhere. Maybe the Cronkies, rightly or wrongly, which I think there's right with this and wrong with this, said, you know what, we keep giving you peas. You keep talking about goalies and left backs. You need to go and sell and make your own money. You need to kind of justify what you're doing. You know we're doing this self-sustaining thing. We broke the record for you, the club transfer record for you. We've given you left backs galore. We've ripped up contracts. We've signed up players to new deals as well. Everyone's in it. There's bare possibilities, and it depends how much you like Arteta or loathe Arteta and love the other factors, depending on where the blame goes, in it. So I just think you needed to understand the Scooby-Doo about Arsenal. So I think he's been a bit dishonest there, Ornstein, because we could go back to the videos in the summer. What did we say? It's a simple thing. Did we improve the starting 11? Did we improve the depth? No, we didn't. So it's not a hindsight thing with that. Is there a massive clamor for a 9 at the time? Was there a massive clamor for a 9 at the time? I'm not making excuses for Arsenal, and clearly they should have done something to avoid being in the position they are now. But many of us are being wise after the event. You'd imagine things are being learned, that they'd look to put things right in the summer. I'm not going to lie, this is the level of gaslighting. I don't even know why Tim Sherwood was talking about people have short-term memories. Look what Arteta did. You're taking us for fools. One love for what he did in the past, what you're doing now. Yes, fans have been wrong about a lot of things in hindsight, but you're taking us for fools. There was some fans that were saying don't sign a striker because we got Kai Havertz. I don't think me or a lot of you lot, because you lot were here, was saying that. That's bullshit. That's gaslighting, in my opinion. Sorry, David Ornstein, you're talking nonsense about we're being wise after the fact. Kai Havertz did it for half a season last year. Yeah, I weren't one of them. I looked at it as a base. You can hide behind, we got 90 odd goals. You can hide behind the goals were shared out, but they came in bunches. Half of the goals came when players were doing the business in little patches for 3 or 5 games. We know we're going to score goals. And I remember saying something like this in summer. We know we're going to score goals, but beyond Bukayo Saka, we don't know who's going to get the goals. Kai did it for half a season. There's not a player with inevitability here. It's not making sense. We rested on our laurels. We hoped nothing would go wrong. We hoped the whole squad would stay fit. Form would run to the end of the season. We was naive. We was negligent. And we have to hold that. What are we talking about? You could see you needed a 9. There's no way Arsenal fans were not talking about central midfield, the 9 and the left wing. Please don't gaslight us and take us for fool. Because what is all of this? Anyways, he was then asked about Arsenal's winger search. Is Arsenal's winger search once again reliant on outgoings, in brackets Nelson, Trossard, or are they expected to move more aggressively and potentially sell afterwards like in 2023? Oh yeah, sorry, we did do well in terms of Ramsdale, Eddie Nketiah, Smith Rowe. Eddie Nketiah, Ramsdale, Smith Rowe, Fabio Vieira. In terms of bodies, bar the keeper, we didn't improve this. I'm not saying these players shouldn't have gone, but we went forward and we went back. We stayed in the same space. If there is going to be major investment in a striker, which we all expect to be the case, expectation, I don't know. I don't expect nothing. I help now. Expectations leads to disappointment. You lot's level of ambition is very different to mine. Love the club, but you lot don't want to move at the pace I want to move at. Arteta loves Isak, while Arsenal have also done a lot of work on Sesko. If Zubimendi is arriving at a significant expense, plus the other two that need other work that needs to be done, second keeper, etc., there may need to be a notable departure. I am aware of Arsenal's strong financial results and PSR position, but this needs to be maintained. See, mouthpieces. Ornstein, you might have sold out, you know. That's why an exit or multiple could be required. It needs to happen anyways. The club, 2 players you could have looked to move on. It can't happen now. Naturally, if you look across the squad, that will happen anyway. To your specific point, I don't know if a winger arriving is directly reliant on outgoings in the same area, but it's pretty obvious they'll probably materialize organically if somebody is coming in, whether it's before or after. So that's Ornstein in relation to Arsenal. Arsenal face competition, ironically, from Atletico Madrid in the race to sign Benjamin Sesko from Leipzig. Careful, if he's scared of fighting Kai Havertz, what are you going to do with Julian Alvarez's competition? We've already said Man United allegedly are looking to rival Arsenal with Liverpool for the signing of Martin Zubimendi. This is completely irrelevant, but I was looking at the contracts, people. I don't know why that's even a tab, but it was. Arsenal are preparing an eye-watering new contract offer to William Saliba that would make him the club's highest paid player. They want to keep the defender from Real Madrid's grasp. And I mean, we could look at the contract. Saliba, yeah, halfway. Kai Havertz. I zoom in case you lot can't see. I can't lie, man. Kai Havertz, I got no beef with you. I got no beef with your agent. Like, no one put a gun to you lot's head. No one put a gun to the advisors at Arsenal to offer you lot this. But when you talk about PSR and all of that, it all makes sense. But then we're equally shooting ourselves in the foot. What the fuck? Like, how have you lot... I'm not even dissing Kai, but how have you lot put my man on this contract? Which, yeah, you could say is one of the first names on the team sheet, which in lies the issue, but you'd imagine Saka's going to have to eclipse that. And if you're Saka's advisor, you're saying, yo, patting up my thing. Saliba, patting up my thing. If I'm Saliba, I can't believe I'm earning less than Kai Havertz. Are you going crazy? That's going to have ramifications and boy, there's a lot that needs to be moved on. But what do you keep hearing? We keep being briefed. Check the live stream out yesterday. Indirectly, we're being told it's a sell before you can buy. We might have to sell, might have to do this. But then simultaneously, we're being told we're in a strong position in PSR. Now, they are right. You have to keep that up. But we're being told it's right now we're steadying the ship. Clearly, there's an element of those above Mikel, the owners, thinking, you know what, you spent a bit recklessly. We need to tie in the purse strings. Which is why, boy, you might have to hold it. And at the end of the day, Arteta, you can't be a damsel in distress. Regardless, we need to act. You believe, regardless of the context, you can work at this club, you know, because you say you got the best owners and you liked it so much, you've got a 15 million a year deal. You're going to have to make it work. But there's a lot to do. You know, Nelson's probably gone off the wage bill. He's got a year left. You know, Nelson's a candidate to gone off the wage bill. You can make a case for Kivior. Cedric's not there. I don't know why his name's still there. Or Leno. Lokonga's gone. But there's a lot of people earning P's that shouldn't be here. There's a lot to do in terms of ingoings and outgoings. So, yeah, Saliba, you need whatever contract they can give you, man. A blank one, if I'm honest. Arsenal already in a contract offer for Saliba that, if accepted, will put him on par with the club's highest earners. They will look to open talks in the coming months with a view to getting the deal over the line before the start of next season. Amen. Arteta spoke a few weeks ago about such. He said, I'm sure we are very aware of the contractual situations of every player, so they'll be dealing with those kinds of matters. Have talks started? I don't know. What, is Jason Ito leading those talks? And if you're Saliba and Saka, I'm not saying you don't like the club, but surely if you're questioning the direction and the progression of this football club, you're not in a rush to sign a new deal. On the best of days, the longer you take to sign a new deal, the stronger your negotiating power. And you got to be thinking about your future. Surely you want to see what the club's doing. So, yeah, we've gone over David Ornstein. We probably should have recalled Fabio Vieira. In his last 4 games at Porto, he's got 2 goals, 2 assists. Should have at least recalled him to sit on the bench. Arsenal allegedly want to extend Thomas Partey's contract by 1 year and have held talks with the players' reps. Partey is open to a contract extension. However, he's not rushing to make a decision because of interest from Barcelona and Juventus. So are you really going to give Partey a new deal, bring in Zubimendi and all the other stuff that we all know we need to do? Apparently, Chelsea have poached an Arsenal goalkeeping coach. Chelsea continue staff rebuild by hiring Arsenal goalkeeping coach. Chelsea have continued to bolster their backroom staff by hiring Arsenal's Mark Mason as assistant head of goalkeeping. He joined the Gunners in September 2023 as head of academy goalkeeping, following 2 years as head of goalkeeping and set piece coach under Phil Neville at Inter Miami. He also worked with Neville for England women and England's men's youth sides. From 2012 to 2016, he worked with Brighton in both academy and first team roles. Okay, you go do your thing at Chelsea. You're not involved at Arsenal anymore. We don't give a monkeys what you're on, mate. Magalhaes and Martinelli have been called up by Brazil's preliminary squad for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers against Colombia and Argentina later this month. Are you sure, Martinelli? Maybe that's a clue you'll be fit. But are you sure about that? 3 p.m. people, I'm going to have some Arsenal fans and we're going to continue the Arsenal rhetoric, people. What other videos have we got? Got Sammy here at 8 p.m. The grind don't stop, people. And obviously tomorrow, we've got PSV. So, yeah, smash the like buttons, man. You lot will make us get to 70,000, man. It's you lot that have to help the engagement. Big up Max Dolman as well. So that appears to be everything. Oh, why did I do that? Let me see what you lot are saying, people, in a sec. But should we spin the block and see if there's anything Arsenal related? It's all going to be dominated. Well, we can go over Isaac, but it's all going to be dominated by this whole sporting directors stuff is the word I was looking for. So, yeah, would you lot sell Martinelli? Who would you rather sell, Martinelli or Trossard, people? You know what? I'm sure you can close a poll. You can end the poll and start a new one. Let's see. Who would you smash the like button, people? Have we not got 100? Rather sell Martinelli, Trossard. All right, I'm going to put an option as both, but no guarantee. No guarantee. No idea for 2 replacements. So if you're saying you want to sell both, yeah, there's no guarantee we're going to replace both or even upgrade on both, just to make it a bit difficult. I'm tired of hearing about Isaac, but allegedly Newcastle United striker Isak has rejected offers to make a summer move to Arsenal or Man United in favour of Barcelona, according to reports. A number of clubs in the Premier League are looking for a top striker to improve their forward line, with Arsenal, Liverpool and Man United among the clubs lacking a goal-scoring central forward. Isak has emerged as a name on everyone's lips this season as he continues to impress for Newcastle, who are in the Carabao Cup final. I mean, he limped off in their defeat in the FA Cup to Brighton, and Gordon's out. I can't believe they're saying that's not a red card. Anyone that says that's not a red card for Gordon is bugging out. Like, he's literally put arms in his face. And plus, I don't care about no one's red cards. You've seen what's happened to my football club. Isak's a quality player. The Sweden international has contributed 22 goals and 5 assists in 31 matches in all comps this season, with his impressive form attracting interest. Newcastle are sure that they don't want to sell the player in the summer, but there are rumours they have accepted Isak may have to leave if they don't qualify for Champions League football. Selling the Swede would help Newcastle manage their profit and sustainability rules PSR limit, while giving them extra funds to strengthen for the next season. Fair enough. Should we see if there's anything else in relation to Arsenal as well coming up, people? Well, we've gone over that Saliba stuff. We've gone over that. What's this major transfer warning? Roy Keane's warned us against Ollie Watkins. Respectfully to Roy Keane, I don't think we want to hear your thoughts on that. But yeah, Trossard did his thing. Isak isn't going. Need acting like a big club, so sell both of them. You need to not be emotional. I'm selling both of those guys. I genuinely don't care which one goes. So join the voting. Trossard, he's improved his value, or at least held it this year. Martinelli is a much better option off the bench. Watch Arsenal sign a Chelsea reject this summer. Who don't hear must feel. If nothing changes, nothing changes. If you keep doing the same thing, hoping for different results, what's going to happen? I big up the Bayesians, man. Big up 2-3 in the cup. Arsenal will end up signing Sane on a free. I can see it now. Saka and Saliba should get 300k and Gabriel Magalhaes 250k. We have so many players will leave, so give mega deal to Saka, Saliba, Magalhaes. Not an issue. Order me. Sign up Magalhaes as well. I told you midfield getting shagged by Partey news. He's part of the reason we didn't spend in January. Havertz. He might be available depending on how Cardona does on the left for PSG. Who's that? Bacola. Liverpool have been linked with Doué of PSG. We should have got him, man, before he ended up there. Jesus and Havertz contracts need to be gone by summer 2026. Hopefully, it's not going to happen. Havertz is key for Arteta. Jesus is on the hospital bed. He's not getting sold. I'm wondering if because players like Jesus and Tommy are unlikely to be sold this summer, they have to look at selling the likes of Nelly and Trossard to increase funds to buy new players. It's a possibility. They have to pivot in some way, shape, or form. How many M's is an unprecedented summer? I'm talking net spend, not simply incomings. I don't know how much, but I would say anything that's not in the 200 odd region for Arsenal would be, I would class it as that. I'm here for my daily DG waffle session. Have you had your Monday morning waffles, folks? Marcel, take a break, but big up yourself, man. This guy, I rate him though. He's dedicated to hating. It's all love though. It's all love. So yeah, man, it seems like we're getting a new director. You don't need to stop beefing. Gordon will miss the cup final. People saying we're lucky. You told Gordon to be an idiot. I watched it several times, and I must admit, I'm quite shocked at people saying it's not a red. Like, you shoved Donny in his face. Like, I don't know why it's not red. Like, bro, would you get a red card for that in Sunday League? No, but you put hands on faces. Zini, Partey, one of Tross/March should be gone this summer. If we can't get Nico Williams, we should try go for Adamola Lookman and Semenyo from Bournemouth. He's a shout, Semenyo. At this moment, I'll be real, man. I just need to see areas addressed, man. Just get the areas addressed and we'll move from there. Because it's jarring. Both. Trossard did his thing. Where's the voting at? To be fair, as I said, there's many people losing patience on certain players. To be fair, 12% said Martinelli. 65% of you are saying Trossard. So it's that. And it all depends. These players might not want to leave. Like, we could say Martinelli might want to get his spot back. He might think he can contribute here. Let's forget Martinelli and look at the Trossards, not Jesus anymore, but the Trossards, the Zinnies. They could be comfortable in London with their family, believe they like the project, could get minutes, especially if we don't address all the areas and have the summer we have. It's all the onus is on them. DG, who you want left wing? I'm not sure about Williams. He's not a goal getter. I'd say Williams because at the end of the day, Arteta's going to stay here. A lot of Arteta sexuals sit here and waffle to me about he needs his own players. If that is the guy he wants, make sure he gets him in and he turns water to wine, innit? Trossard, Tavares, Zinni, Kivior, Tini, Lokonga, Nelson can get decent fees and lots of wages off the books. Easier said than done. Do we really expect all of them to go now? Tavares has got a foot out the door because that's an obligation. Zinni, we've spoken about. Kivior seems to have a lot of interest in Italy, but it doesn't seem that anyone's forthcoming. Tini's gone, so that's shedded. Lokonga's got a year left on his deal, and you have to hope Sevilla or anyone try and get him. Nelson, we need to move on. So it's easy, man. To say Marty definitely wants to stay. I'm thinking being comfortable is probably part of his problem. To be fair, I'm keeping Martinelli just to mount him to the bench. But then if there really is £50 million bids and that, you've got a lot to think about. Everyone's got a price. I just think if we want to be a team that goes for the title, like obviously in terms of future proof and all of that, many of these guys can go. But if we want to go for the title, there's a role for Martinelli and Trossard, especially with Trossard's match winningness more of last season off the bench to be here. But I understand if they get an offer they can't refuse, and he might be one of the only players that actually has a market. Like for all the rumors and talking about players that need to go, who really, again, paper talk is very different, but who really has interest? Kivior's one, seems to be linked with the Italian clubs all the time. For all the talk about Tini, he's gone back to Celtic. For all the talk about Zinni, what I'm sure in January there was Atletico and Dortmund shouts and whatnot. Fair enough. Nobody's coming to get Jesus. Partey's a bit different because his contract is running down. I don't know if Saudi or other clubs in other leagues take a chance on Trossard, but we don't hear anything. Nelson, I think, will get offers, but I don't know if that's good enough for what we want. Who else is around the squad? Jorginho's leaving on a free. With water to iron, because Arteta might as well bring some techie Spanish players to Arsenal. Do you think Neto is better than Martinelli? Pedro now. You man hyped up Trossard so much. The guy is and always was mid-table level. Martinelli's lack of improvement is on Arteta's shoulders. To be fair, in life, you got to take responsibility. Like Martinelli has to, if it's to be blaming Martinelli for that, Arteta for that, Martinelli's got to take blame as well because your footballing IQ ain't improved significantly. I just think the final actions is what kills Martinelli. When you need to get your head up and pass, when you need to shoot, when you need to pull it to the back post, these things have not improved. You can take someone to the water, but you can't help them drink. Saka is Saka, but why is Saka improved? Why has it gone back from that 2022-23 season where some people were sitting there and saying, raw, Martinelli's ceiling might be higher? All gear, no idea. And if Martinelli was back today, might as well just slap him up front, man. Arteta defo gets credit for Saka growing. Like, we don't need... we can question if Arteta's the guy to get over the line and that, but just because we think he needs to go or he can't get us over the line, we don't need to sit here and pretend the man's done nothing good for the club. In the same way, some fans don't need to pretend that he's done everything good for the club. We could just be honest. He has improved 1-2 players. You're just not the man to get over the line. You're on borrowed time. Martinelli should have been up front. That's where he was brought up. He was always going to reach a ceiling on the wing. And one thing I would say with Martinelli that kills Martinelli is Arteta don't really care about the left-hand side. Yeah, you got your... Obviously, I'm being disingenuous. You got your inverted left back. You still not solved that left midfield. It's quote unquote solved because it's fair to assume that Declan, especially if you get Zubimendi as a 6, Declan Rice is going to stay there. But you've had Declan Rice, Kai Havertz there now. You flirted with 1-2 other things. The left's been a mess. And you look at it, it's all geared towards Saka anyways. Naturally, rightly so, Saka's going to win games. So there are a lot of factors out of Martinelli's control, but the IQ. I don't know if Martinelli's ready to affect the game with his back to goal, but I more want to try that. I more like Martinelli running in behind. I do like him getting on the final action. It's just the decision making. He's such a nice lad. You can tell he trains well. He's so willing to learn, but polish up now, man. Big up Fam Zone TV again. The lads are going to be here at 3 p.m. Make sure you're subscribing to the lads as well, man. Yeah, I would slot Martinelli as a striker, seeing as that worked for him, reconverting from left to striker. Facts, it's all geared to the right-hand side. And then like you see, when Saka's gone, when Ben White's gone, it's going to affect Odegaard. And we're not going to allow Odegaard, like, we're not making excuses for Odegaard, but when your right-hand side's crippled, you're fucked. 2022-23 season, of these 3 years we fought for the title, people, that's been the only year we haven't been lopsided. A lot of these issues, whether it's the left-hand side versus the right, whether it's depth, whether it's personnel, whether it's players with X factor, whether it's goal scorers, whether it's, you know, tactical things purely on Mikel Arteta, where we get to the final third is slow and an inability to break down low blocks or making subs. All of these problems, we never found them out today, you know. We never found them out in this dark period for Arsenal. We came into this season knowing this. Martinelli can't play striker, in my opinion. It requires hold-up play and clever movement. And that's the thing. I don't think he's intelligent enough of being a bit selfless because, mate, I'm a bit of a hypocrite because it's not the left-hand side. But if you look at our front three, it's probably the wide men that get the most freedom. That's what I feel about Martinelli. But I'm at the point, you might as well try him there, man, if I'm completely honest with you. Like, we ain't got nothing to lose. Hey, man, Dave and all of that, what's going on, man? You lot be nice in the chat. You lot doing too much. Martinelli would thrive under a different coach. Mikel Arteta is too defensively minded, which is taking away Nelly's natural talent. I hear all of that, and all of that's true, but at the same time, like, how much of Martinelli being shit is just down to Martinelli? Because I know it's not the same, and you could make an argument that Ranieri might look a bit robotic, but it's not stopping Ranieri clarting it on his left. It's not stopping Lewis Skelly from being wavy. It's not, obviously, injury stop Saka. It's not stopping Saka. Martinelli's a good player, but at the end of the day, I'm at the, like, this is where I get mad as a club. Because if we want to be a team that can just fight for top four and be the bridesmaids, just be second best like we are, we've got enough. If we want to go to the next level, we need we need a striker that's getting numbers. We need Saka to keep doing what he's doing. We need a left winger that's even going to give us 50% of what Saka is doing. We hope for Martinelli, Kai Havertz, and Trossard to find their feet, and they could be on the bench. But what we're doing now is unsustainable. We're bringing blunt butter knives to gunfights with Liverpool and City, and we're surprised that it's not working. Keep Martinelli, tried to improve him. Martinelli has been in the right spaces a lot. Arteta can't choose the right decision for him in the box on his passing and finishing. Martinelli should have been up front. That's what. Oh, sorry, I've seen that already. Chelsea's now. It probably is. Like, the only one, Martinelli, when I see Garnacho play, Martinelli does make me thankful that we've got him. It could be worse, man. I don't know. Trossard expressed through his cellies he's unhappy about Tick. What? I think he'd be happy with a move if compensated. I hear that, but how many footballers accept the first offer in life? Whether you're negotiating a mortgage, whether you're, I don't know, buying or selling something with your friend, whether you've gone to a market, who accepts the first offer that's presented to them? And if you do, this is a bit crazy. I can't begrudge Trossard for that. Trossard's has played a lot more minutes this season because of the injuries. You know, be on the bench. I think Trossard, he's at that stage of his career. Is he happy at Arsenal? Is he happy in London? Does he feel valued? Is his family cool? Do you want to try a new experience? I think you'd be great in Spain. Do Arsenal think there's an opportunity to make some money here? Indirectly, we are going to have to sell a couple of players for the balance sheet. I'm open to selling him if it makes sense. But in terms of building a winning squad, Trossard's ready for right now. We could do a thing with him. There's a lot to do. I don't expect us to bring everybody in, which we kind of need to, or sell everyone. But there's a lot to do. We can't half step in the summer. That's why I am not. How would I put it? That's why I have not got too much expectation, because that was how I thought was going to move in the summer last year. So it's show me now, isn't it? There's no point in getting the hopes up, because there'll always be some excuses. Oh, there was no one in the market. We need a particular profile of player. We tried powder, keeping the powder dry, war chest. None of these guys can come off the bench and help us, you know. Imagine Martinelli scoring that goal versus Sporting after that crazy run. They're the things he needs to polish up on. Can you tell what happened to him after that 2022-23 season? Saying kicked on. Yeah, there's been injuries and Xhaka has gone and certain things out, and Arteta's changed his formation. Sorry, his tactics. Some of this is out of Martinelli's hand, but you've just not kicked on, bro. As you said, try something new with him going into the striker position. Bro, him, Sterling, Trossard, when Martinelli's back, if Martinelli's back, you lot might, someone go false nine throughout the game, you lot just swapping it. But Arteta's not going to do that. It's still going to be Moreno. We're still going to play the same way. Martinelli isn't quality at all. Trossard is better than Martinelli. But for me, Saka's the best attacker we got. And then I think it's Ranieri already. And I have to hail up Kai Havertz. I want a striker. I don't think Kai should be a starter. But if we're keeping it 100, he scored a lot more goals and been a lot more consistent than Bear Man. which tells you the problem of our football club. If we're saying that about Kai. Trossard, I think you can bring something. I think you have Nelly. I think you can do something. Havertz, I think you should be on the bench. We're always taking summer interns, trying to make them CEOs, and we're a bit bewildered as to why it hasn't gone the way we'd have liked. The week's just started. What's your opinion on Berta? Scroll to the start, but I'm here for it, man. If you've really done all of that at Atletico, you've helped them win titles, you've signed Cunha and Julian Alvarez, and you know you've got a strong contact book. Who doesn't want that? We need a steady pair of hands at this football club. So whether it was going to be Olabe or Berta or this one or that one, you're not going to get any complaints from me. Osimhen and Trossard are clinical and they'll score goals non-stop. I think we have to give up the Osimhen thing. They had to sign Gyökeres last summer. They didn't, so I lost hope in having any ambition. I hear it. There's no way you should have signed a striker. We didn't sign a striker and expect it to be serious, man. Would we be better than we are if Martinelli would have been fit? No. I think we'd have more options to flirt with and that, but I'd still, if you're asking me, do I think we'd still be in this mess? Yes, 100%. If anything, it's a Saka thing. Because at least he scores some goals, nicks us some wins, and it papers over the cracks. We're down to our bare bones, man. Over bare bones, really. We're past that. We're past that point. Really. Really and truly past that. So it is what it is. Smash the like button if you haven't. We're gonna have to make it happen, man. Like, we've stood in the rain for far too long and complaining we're wet. Like, the problem with our football club, unfortunately, we kept kicking a lot of these problems up the road, and this season it's come to an end. Sorry. The 2 years there was progression. You came into this summer, and I said it in the summer. You lot can go and check the vids. This was you're either going to make mad progression or there's going to be regression, and we've regressed defensively, regressed in the final third, regressed with the manager, regressed even sporting wise, because before the season really got going, Eddie was like, lads, done no, in a bit, gardening leave. And again, to not have won one Premier League trophy in these 3 years is incompetence. Obviously, it doesn't work like this, but you could be devil's advocate and assume that if we really have been this good team, we could have done the double in the Premier League, let alone the treble. And you know what's going to keep this club up at night? Unless they win the league next year, you had 3 golden opportunities. Liverpool's problems of tomorrow are Liverpool's problems of tomorrow. And I'm sure their fans are speaking about it. This year, they've won the title and they're making history. Last year, City did what they're doing. City have been finished. They could still win the FA Cup. And with Liverpool, United, lovely that United's gone out. Us going out, what's being said, they still won a trophy. I'm not saying United's situation is better than ours. Ten Hag still won a trophy. Big up Amarim for scammer win for fraud in it. Liverpool, Arnslot's been there 2 minutes, about to win a trophy. Worst Pep season. They might win the FA Cup. They're probably the strong favourites. We have to look over our shoulders as well because they're creeping up with their form. That's going to be the issue for the players. Less so much the players because I think they've been let down, but the manager, the players, the whole club, you've had a golden opportunity and you've been complacent. You've not really wanted greatness. You've not seized the moment. You've been okay being this. Success is not really what you want. It's what you'd like because you don't behave like this. And that's why for me, it is what it is. If we win a trophy in the future, it's great. But like, I can't put, unfortunately, as a collective club, I can't put Arsenal and ambition in the same sentence. We half do things. Arteta is guilty of missing out on a striker. I'm surprised we're still in the Champions League at this rate with no target man, knowing we are favouring the set piece tactics. Should have got Watkins for that game plan. Boy, we've got 2 weeks to be in the Champions League at the very minimum. The boys need to do what the boys need to do. Big up S. I see you comment on the video. Like, I've been cutting up clips with a gal. Again, people, make sure you lot are following my second YouTube channel as well, DG Clips. I just thought rather than spam you lot on the main channel, it makes sense to change things. Oh, wow. There's a lot of hate for some of the people I bring on. And that's the thing. No one's going to govern who I bring on. Like, we can bring on people that are heads are in the fairies, negative nannies. Everybody's allowed an opinion, man. As long as you can articulate it, is what phase is slot in winning stage. As I said, tomorrow's problems are tomorrow's problems. They got 3 big contracts winding down. They could, the squad depth isn't the biggest. They've done Klopp dirty. That's the only consistency with Arsenal and Liverpool at the moment. They've done Klopp dirty with the 2 windows. But tomorrow's problems are tomorrow's problems. And I'm not saying it goes away. Tomorrow's problems are tomorrow's problems. Right now, Liverpool have had it. Whether they were talking about genuinely winning the Prem in the summer or not, that's their business. I'm not a Liverpool fan. I don't know. Once it became clear that they could do it, they're running with it. History. Simple as that. And then people always want to do this, but at least we're not Chelsea, Spurs, United. I hear that. Life could always be better, but it could always be a lot worse. We're not trying to be like where they're at. So what's the point waffling about them? There's no point. And have you noticed I only really speak internally about Arsenal? I believe these last 3 years are self-inflicted. There's referees, there's all of this stuff, but isolated to what we can control, we've shot ourselves in the foot. We've shot ourselves in the foot. Winners win and losers explain. No matter how you shape up 3 very different years, we've been doing explaining. Klopp hasn't done any rebuild, just a few tweaks. That's all he can do, man. And maybe Klopp's got the common sense for that. If Klopp's walked in and said, they're not giving me the budget I want, I can't change. They could play, in theory, he could completely remix what they're doing now. But this year, he had the competence to say, I can't do all of that. And even after leaving, like, whether it's Alex Ferguson, Pep, when it comes, Wenger, Slot, when someone that's been there that long, it's not always wise to make wholesale changes, change up everything. I'm sure there's some similarities, but I'm sure there's some differences. He's probably sat there for that reason and the depth and not being able to do stuff in the market. He said, you know what? Next season, I might want to do X, Y, Z, but for now, I'm just tweaking this and tweaking that. Arteta, you've got us to a point. Until you get over the line, I can't back you religiously. And I love my club more than Arteta. If he leaves, I'm not crying. If he stays, it is what it is. We're not ripping up a 15 million a year deal. You've been here 6 years. 3 of them have been fighting for a title, and you've not won it. And there's legitimacy in the cup competitions. Obviously, the goalpost will move if he was to pick up FA and League Cup, say it's only that. But it creates a winning mentality. And I don't have a leg to stand on when I say crunch moments, you seem to crumble. There, you crumble. Too many people are loyal to Mikel Arteta than the football club. At some point, the club's going to have to try something differently. I don't think they want to do that. And I hope there's light at the end of the tunnel. But it is what it is. Arteta is ruthless with goalkeepers and defenders, but gives attackers so many chances. Well, it is what it is, man. So, yeah, whatever phase he's in, big up them. That's their phase. Boy, how long we have to wait for Martinelli to get back selling while the stocks are high? I've given up on Martinelli returning back to form. Love the guy. I've given up a lot. I've checked out emotionally on a lot of things with Arsenal, bro. Man said, Arteta, Messi, can you defend? If they somehow get Izzat, they're not re-signing Salah. Boy. Arteta, people make out that Arteta's a damsel in distress. You've had 6 years in one of the biggest jobs in football for a novice manager. You've had the most autonomy. You've had more autonomy under the Cronkies than Wenger ever had. Emery had, not that Emery was here for a while. And I'm not here to do all of that. But with all of that comes responsibility, bro. And what you can't say is everybody has made problems of their own. I'm not saying not persisting with Arteta will not bring success. I'm not saying sacking him will guarantee success. I'm just saying, for me, all options should be on the table. And at what point are you going to change things? At what point are you going to be so close but so far? At what point are you going to say, do you know what? You've got us here. We need to go elsewhere. I have no doubt he'll win stuff in his career. I only care about if you do it at Arsenal, you know. And you're getting more responsibility off the field with nothing to really show for it. You've obviously got more than me. I'm sitting here on YouTube, you're a Premier League manager, but boy, because the worst thing is people always say, he'll step away if he doesn't. Blah, 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 blah. He might one day. He's not stepping away anytime soon. He's still learning on the job, still getting to do certain bullshits, and he's not being held accountable. He's not stepping away. If he genuinely gets to a point where he feels, now I'm truly in my final form, he might step away if things aren't happening. And you're not leaving 15 mil a year. Crazy. Do you think Arteta could have solved the issue at United? I think he does a lot better than Amorim, 100%. The fights we're having in this chat are the fights we're about to see at the stadium. Trust, I have no sympathy in regards to this season. Had enough time, and I don't believe in this. No one else can take us higher. It's true, but man will sit here, and I'm not, like, you know me, I'm not even doing the pitchfork thing. People will sit here and say, who are we going to get? You lot didn't know who you wanted as sporting director. Everyone wants the Berta youth now. If we say striker, what striker do you want? Bear man are going to say Izzak. We all know we're not getting him. Now what? But you know you need a striker, right? When we needed a manager anyways, when Arteta took the job, no one was screaming Arteta. He weren't in the game. Why will he leave here? 15 million a year, gets to make his team, no expectations, fan base will cover up his face. It's all context FC, which there's always context behind things, but winners win, losers explain. And there's been different contexts. We've still not won what we've needed to win. 50 a year. 50 million a year be a mad tick. Yeah, you lot stop fighting in the chat, man. You men fighting for time, man. Exactly. People want to put Arteta on a pedestal, and I'm not speaking about people with agendas, positively and negatively. People want to put, just for balanced fans, people want to put Arteta on a head, on a pedestal. He's this, he's that, he's so innovative, he's this. But then when things go left, or you're asking questions, what's going on? Obviously, he's not Jurgen Klopp, he's not Pep, he's not Arsene Wenger, he's not Conte, he's not Jose. But them man are held to high regards, and they're judged by the same standards. So yeah, man, at some point things are gonna have to change. I don't even think Arteta will get sacked next season, and I don't know the mathematics, but the only time I think it can go left is within the next 12 to 18 months of his deal running down, because he signed the 3-year deal, right? So it is what it is. I know in the summer it's all gonna be the gloves are off and he has to do this, he has to do that. That's gonna be what YouTube is saying and the content. I was saying all that last season. That's why I'm emotionally checked out. Couple of the players, one love. Arteta, you've done some well, but you're peeing me off at this moment in time. Everybody connected to the club above you, I'm bewildered. Kroenke, I don't think you're to blame for everything. I don't think Arteta should have this much power, especially in today's day and age. Pep Guardiola doesn't even have that much power. Of course, he has things to say and has a right. You know, they ask him what's going on at City, but they'll keep moving. In the present day, the Wenger and the Sir Alex Ferguson model is gone. Why has Arteta got that without the CV to match? Of course, I want Arteta and these players to do well. You're at my football club, regardless. In the ideal world, I want you to get over the line. But at some point, you're going to have to try something different, because Arteta is shooting himself in the foot as much as there's other factors. Big up, Jay, man. I got love for you, but we differ a lot on this. Big up the members. Don't make sense Arteta leaving after building the house from the foundation and don't get to enjoy the finished product. Not happening. He's not leaving anytime soon. He's still got stamina and his motivation. But in general, just because he built it, if you're not the guy to get us over the line, there's no shame in that. One love. Keep it going. Arteta is the guy who builds the confidence for the girl. Then she leaves for the guy with the range and Rolex. We need the guy with the range and Rolex. Pause. You're moving bad. DJ, if we sign Osman, then all our presents will be the one season party stays fit. We are about to be out of all comps by March, April. But Arteta has a big ego from the Cronkies. You need one, man. You need a big ego. That's the way it's a double-edged sword, because I'm not against that, bro. All these managers got egos, bro. All of them have an ego. Wenger's got it. Everybody's got an ego. And life is a contradiction in the sense that you need to be able to put that ego aside. What I would say is, I don't think there's internal pressure from Mikel Arteta. I think there's pressure he puts on himself. I don't think there's internal pressure. I think pressure is a privilege. If there was a little bit of pressure on him, maybe at this moment in time, it's not still playing Marino up front. It's not still persisting with certain people. But we all know the dynamics at play. We speak about it week in, week out. João Pedro or Osimhen, DG? Well, I think Osimhen answers more questions because he's a pure striker. But I'm a big fan of João Pedro. His playmaking abilities and whatnot. Like, he can play all about the place. So I'm gonna say him, man. Brazil bias as well. You know me, I love a Brazilian player. James, big him up, man. Make sure you're following James on his platforms. And it would have been Saturday. Time flies. It would have been Saturday. We did a video. We spoke about Arteta sexual. So if you want to hear Balance fans, go and check that out. Subscribe to his channel and check that video out. Hello, my G. Like we said together, Arteta wins 0 next season. He's toast. He's got one more year left. I feel that's being generous, but that's what is going to happen. Cronkies will back it one more time. And that's the thing, like, bro, what's annoying is, yeah, in the summer, I know people are dishonest. They'll paint whatever narratives. For me, I think what needs to be discussed is, regardless of what you think about the Cronkies, can Arteta thrive within this context? If he does, if he can't, then you need to move on. He clearly does, believe he does, because he signed a 15 million a year contract, right? We know what the summer is gonna say. We all know it starts in August, ends in May, but we know how they're gonna write this. At the end of the day, we know the way we played across 2 legs against Newcastle was nothing short of disgraceful. But they're gonna say we had a small squad, we got to a semi-finals. We should not have went out in the FA Cup to Man United, but they'll say, you know what, it happens. It did go down to pens. It is what it is. Champions League, especially if we get past PSV in these 2 legs, yeah, especially if we get past them, you know what they're going to say. Oh, it was Real Madrid is calm. we had bare injuries, we still finished second, and we went out of steam. If we just do this, that, the third next season, it's all mad, and we go again. We're gonna say the same things, and of course, I hope it's fourth time lucky and we get over the line. Seeing is believing, bro. I'm only going to believe this team is winning serious honors when I see it with my own eyes, literally. I'm only going to believe you're serious about strikers and midfielders and this one and that one until I physically see it. I don't want any more chatting. And you know what's so funny? For people that cut a lot of excuses for Mikel Arteta, he says the same things, a lot of question marks I have about him. He literally says, when people want to say, oh, we're the best team of 2024, he says it's not good enough. A lot of people, like when you go on holiday, you want to get on a plane and go to the destination. A lot of people are just happy to be on a plane. Partey was his signing too. They brought him out of his release clause so it can be done. Keep him and sell Jorginho. Skelly can play 6. We're not selling Jorginho because his deal's running out, man. Josh and Jason Ito were at the training ground today. Berta will bring in Don Diego. Can't believe we let Marcus Thuram slip from our hands considering we could have got him on the free. Instead, it was Into who got him. We should be winning games with and without our attackers. I think we have a solid team, but they lack confidence. If anyone at the football club I feel sorry for, it's the players, bro. DJ honorary Brazilian. Koulibaly was available. Again, we was desperate in January. I'm not a big fan of Koulibaly, Morata, necessarily overpaying for Ollie Watkins, but we did nothing. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and we did nothing. So that tells me we're cool with just getting top 4. We're cool with maybe in the fact that five places get it. Maybe we're incompetent and naive to believe that this squad will get better. Maybe we're betting on people are going to get, people are going to return from injury sooner rather than later. The last 2 windows has told everyone you're not serious. Also, I love Pedro, but if Arsenal signing anyone from Brighton this summer that isn't Belemba, I don't want to hear/see it. I hear it, but the thing is, when these men end up at Brighton, we've seen it with Caicedo, money talks, all the bullshit walks. A serious club would have sacked him by now. But he's here, is what it is. If this was any other manager in a different team, they wouldn't say the same. Yes, DJ, I hear you about getting over the line, but you as a baller will know it's a focus on process and small changes that will result in achieving objective. Outcome should never be the focus. I disagree. You need to know the outcome. I don't want to be in a process for the process sake. Without knowing where you want to go, you're just going to end up somewhere. I completely disagree. I think that's just being in love with a project or a goal for the sake of it. A goal without a kind of destination is a fallacy, man. I disagree with that part. You do need to focus on the small changes, but we're not. Every question I have last season is still here this year in all aspects, on the field, off the field, depth, rotation, everything. Outcome should always be the focus. We're in a results-driven business. We're in professional sport. Then what are we doing then? What are we doing then? Like, what are we doing? You think Arteta's not there with an outcome focus? That's why he's got phase 25 and this and that and the third. Jay, I got love for you, man, but I think that's nonsense, bro. Outcome has to be the focus. Man, I don't want to be in love with the journey for the sake of it. Just because we got battered and bruised for years and we're half decent now and our top 6 record is decent. And even though we're screaming and shouting, we're still second. We still only have 3 losses. That's dead. That's dead. If without knowing the outcome, Wenger doesn't come out and say we can be invincible. George Graham doesn't come out and do what he's doing. Klopp, fair enough, his estimations or his guesstimations were wrong. But I remember Klopp getting slewed for saying, I think I'm going to win a title within 3 years at Liverpool. I think it was about 4 or 5 years. I could be wrong. You need to know your destination. You need to know the outcome. The outcome has to be the focus. What the fuck? Respectfully, what the hell? Then what are we doing? So if the outcome is not the focus, we're not focused on winning the Premier League. We're not focused on bringing in trophies. What are we doing? Because being devil's advocate, if the outcome, which is winning the Prem, winning the FA Cup, League Cup, whatever have you, if that is not the focus, then we've already arrived. Then we're second, right? So then why is Arteta here? There's no outcome. So then why is Arteta here? Because surely someone else can finish second. Why is he on 50 mil a year? Why are we breaking our club transfer record? Now, fortunately, I disagree. Arteta has said different to what you're saying there. Odegaard has said different. Declan Rice has said different. There's winners and there's losers. Winners win, losers explain. What's the point being in something for the sake of it? That's dead. I'm not on that. There needs to be an outcome. That just sounds like the club. Maybe they're cool because we're going to get top 4 continuously and it's cool. That's dead. I'm not on that. I can't lie to you, broski. I'm not on that. Big up your thing, though, man. Shout out, Jay. Belemba is another 100 million player baller. Should have bought him when he was at Lyon, man. And the thing is, Brighton are getting richer and richer, as you've seen. You know, They've made profit all over the gaff, innit? They're rejecting 90 million for Matoma. It's mad. Brighton, I personally feel at that stage, even Brighton at that stage where they need to decide, do we hold on to some of these players as much as they can and kick on? And even that, if you look at Brighton, of course, it's different. I've seen about three, maybe four different managers at Brighton. They're still doing what they're doing. You seen the guy they got now? They had Potter. They had De Zerbi. There might be someone else. They're still up there. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. You need a goal, bro. You need an end goal, man. I disagree with that. Jay's my guy, but that's dead, man. Of course, they're simultaneously thinking about the next game. But of course, the long-term goal is winning the league. The Athletic have shown us they've got built pictures of winning the league and their future, what they want to do in the future. Of course it is. I can't lie. I think we have to apply a bit of common sense. Of course, it's about game by game. The long-term goal is the league. And even with that, the way Arteta, if you look at how he spoke in 2022, 23, and how he speaks now, he's very specific about we need to win the league. And there's no way around it. Like, we need to cut the Coach Carter Mighty Duck stuff. Come on, man. Come on, man. Brighton have sold Ballers McAllister for 35 mil. Again, that's a profit as well. Are you lot like each other in the chat, man? You lot been waffling for time, man. Man City had all 3 trophies plastered on their locker room when they were going for the treble. It's always about the goal. I'm not on taking part. No, I wouldn't say triggered. I just think, the fuck? I'm not on that at all. I chat, man. Hey, mods. Pattern them up, man, please. This sporting director should bring a new manager with him. Arteta ain't winning anything anytime soon. But and even if we're not focused on the outcome, Saliba, Saka, them man are going to clubs where they are focused on the outcome, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, man, it is what it is. I'm back again at 3 p.m, folks, people. I'm gonna have a couple of people here, and it's actually, I love doing the collabs and stuff because it's a chance for me to shut up. I want to hear other people's thoughts. Again, it's a busy week as it always is. Appreciative to you lot tuned in. If you haven't subscribed or smashed the like button, then what are you doing? I'm gonna love and leave you lot, people, and I'll see you lot at 3 p.m. and then 8 p.m.
Like